Back in the 1990s, mainly, amateur wrestling and professional wrestling were complete opposites. I wish I would have had a business mindset when I started. John Cena had the business mindset. He's dancing around and then he goes up the scaffold and comes back down and goes down the ramp and goes around the ring 3 times, and I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, I go autograph signs, do Ray promo. It's like, oh my.
And I'm a man who loves to play with boys.
Welcome everybody to the dos&d show for a huge episode here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I honestly couldn't think of a better guest, the Prince of Pittsburgh, Mr. Kurt Angle. Welcome to the dos&d show.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Mate, we're pumped. I'm so excited. It's a bit of a pinch yourself moment for us. I mean, rather than getting straight into the first question, it's just cool to, I guess, be in the moment a little bit, meet you out the front, mate. It's awesome. But we were trying to work out where to start the chat, and I mean, it's going to go in so many great directions, and I can't wait. But a real topical one at the moment is the retirement of John Cena. I thought it'd be a great way to start it off because it's right there in front of us at the moment. It's happening. So, I mean, he debuted against you, mate. He's getting called the greatest of all time, I think now. Did you think he was going to be that on that night?
I knew the kid had a lot of ability. He just didn't have a character yet that he was able to express on TV. He started out as prototype, and I guess it meant like a robot type of wrestler, and he had matching trunks, knee pads, and shoes. They all matched the colors, and it just wasn't working. But he was rapping on an airplane at one point in time, and Stephanie McMahon heard him, and she's like, "Do you rap?" And he said, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my God, this is a great idea. I'm gonna go home and talk to my dad, Vince, and we're gonna have you start playing the rapper gimmick." So John did that. He just took off. I mean, his popularity soared from the beginning. I mean, he probably 6 months in, when he was John Cena the rapper, he was on top of the business. I mean, it was that quick. So I knew he had the ability. I just didn't know that. I didn't know he could rap, which was kind of cool. But that was just the beginning of so many incredible memories that John Cena has given the fans. The kid is just entertaining and amazing.
We're watching this morning, actually, the introduction to your Hall of Fame by John Cena. It was quite incredible. And of course, the rap battle you guys had at SmackDown. What are your memories of that? How do those kind of moments come about? How much notice are you given but prior to something like that?
Well, what happens is the writers come up with all the material. I mean, John, when he would rap, it was mainly his material, but they would give him an idea, and then he would use that idea to express himself through rapping. Me, I had it written for me, and my writer was incredible, Brian Gewirtz. He wrote for The Rock, Chris Jericho, myself, a lot of other wrestlers, and he did an incredible job for me. I mean, that rapper song, the battle rap, it was his words that I said, during the rap. So but he had me do so many entertaining things. Brian was such a great writer. I did Sexy Kurt, and and the cowboy hat with Stone Cold Steve Austin and all that stuff. That was all Brian's material. He did an incredible job.
Yeah, I think people probably don't talk about enough how funny you were. Like you were hilarious. Yeah. Like you were just this. I think you were an amazing heel. Like you were such a great wrestler, technical wrestler, but you had this real entertainment factor.
I didn't know I had it. I never did anything like that. I just was an athlete my whole entire life, and I didn't know if I had a personality. I didn't know if I was going to survive in WWE when I started. But for some reason, it just came out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on that, so I'm interested to hear about the original concept of your character, so to speak, when you came to WWE. So you come from obviously your amateur background, Olympic gold medal, and then into the world of WWE. What are the original pitches for the character you'd portray?
Vince McMahon wanted to use The Rock as material for me, being who I was. Like, The Rock what he did is he tried to push him as a babyface really hard. And the fans were chanting, "Die, Rocky, die." They didn't like him.
Yeah.
And it's The Rock, you know? And so Vince, because he pushed The Rock as a babyface, like a white meat babyface, like a, you know, a nerdy type of babyface. That's what Vince did with me, but he knew it was gonna fail.
Yeah.
In other words, they weren't gonna cheer for me, they were gonna boo me because I'd make them sick to their stomachs. So, you know, because of what happened with The Rock when he tried to be a babyface and it made him a heel, Vince knew that would do the same for me. And he wanted me to be a heel. And I was like, Vince, I'm an Olympic gold medalist for the United States of America. I said, I don't think these fans are gonna boo me. He goes, trust me, after you're done with what I tell you to say, they're gonna boo you. So, and they did. I mean, you know, and what they did, they wanted the character to be, you know what, I like this guy, but there's something off, you know? And he just explained that to me. And so I would always talk about the 3 eyes, but I wouldn't always portray that. So it was like I was a hypocrite. And that's what the character was. It wasn't a very easy character. It was a complex character, but I understood what Vince meant.
Yeah. Today's day and age, there's so much development with the youth and the new talent. There's obviously the Performance Center and the NXT program and all of that, which includes a lot of promo training.
Yes.
Did you get a lot of that?
No, actually, I only cut one promo in Memphis when I was down there training to get ready, and it was horrible. And you know, the first night that I went on air, it was Raw. It was after my debut at Survivor Series. The next day it was Raw, and Vince McMahon comes to me and says, "Hey, you're going to cut a promo tonight." And I'm like, "Vince, I can't cut promos." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I did one in Memphis, and it was horrible." See, like I said, we didn't have NXT or OVW back then, so we had no way of preparing for TV. And Vince said to me, "Well, listen, I'm going to give you an opportunity tonight. You're either going to sink or swim. It's up to you." So he was basically saying, "Listen, you're either going to pass or fail. You're either going to have a job for a long time or you're getting fired." So basically that was my option. And he said, "It's up to you." So he starts telling me the promo, but he didn't write it down, which is what they always do. He wanted to test me. He wanted to see if I could remember what he said. So he starts telling me the promo, and 3 minutes goes by, and I'm like, holy crap, this is a long promo. And he goes on for 6 minutes. And I said, Vince, he said, all right, I want you to go out there and cut that promo. And I said, Vince, I'm sorry, but I didn't hear words you said. Could you repeat it again? He goes, I'll repeat it one more time, go out there, sink or swim. It's up to you. So I went out there and I got about 80% of it right. And he said, you know what, I can work with this kid. This kid's ability. So he started having me cut promos every week. Week after week, they're getting longer and longer. I'm getting better and better at them. And after about a year, I was mastering promos. And if it weren't for Vince McMahon pulling me out of my comfort zone, I would have never learned how.
Was Vince intimidating in those early days for you? Like,
Yes.
what was when you came into the world of WWF back then? What was your background knowledge of it? Were you a fan or
no?
Okay.
You have to remember, back in the 1990s, mainly. Amateur wrestling and professional wrestling were complete opposites. I'll give you an example. If someone asked me what I did for a living, I was an Olympic wrestler. I'd say I'm a wrestler. They'd say, oh, one of those wrestlers on TV? I'd be like, no, you idiot. I'm a real wrestler, Olympic wrestler. So we were taking the back seat to pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So we were taught not to watch it, had nothing to do with it, refrain from ever paying attention to it. And so I didn't watch. I mean, I knew who Hulk Hogan was, and I knew who the Iron Sheik was, and all those mainstream characters that I grew up with that I heard about from my friends, but I never watched it. And what's crazy is WWE offered me a contract in 1996 after the Olympics. It was a multi-million-dollar deal, and I turned it down. And the reason why is because back then, like I said before, amateur wrestling was taking a back seat to pro wrestling. When I went home and told my brothers, Vince McMahon offered me a contract. They said, you're not doing that crap. That's fake. You're real. You're the real deal. And my coaches said the same thing, so I turned it down. And what happened was, ironically, 2 years later, WWE comes out of the closet and says, we're no longer sport. We're sports entertainment. Basically, de-legitimizing wrestling, saying wrestling was predetermined, fake. And so my brother said, you can contact him now. Go ahead. And they admitted that
Was the deal still there?
Yeah. So I asked if the contract still stood, and they said, no, but you can come up and try out.
So just going back, sorry, to that next part. So when you meet Vince, what have you been told about him? And when you mentioned he's intimidating, I'd love to know.
Vince is very intimidating. He has a presence about him. You know, he likes to dominate the conversation, but he also is crazy. He's a funny guy, really funny guy. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw the documentary when he had what's his name, the football player. Gosh, I can't remember his name now, but he called him Puke. You know, he wanted his name to be Puke. Puke! Puke! He's yelling at him like that. You're Puke! Like, Vince was just crazy. And, you know, he was a funny guy, unpredictable, but he was a good boss, though. He was a great boss, yeah.
This episode of the dos&d show with WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle is brought to you by Moo.
Now, investing can feel like a big step, but Moo make it super easy to get started.
That's it. Plus, when you sign up and meet all the requirements, you'll get up to 38 free shares.
Including fractional shares plus $30 of $0 brokerage on Australian and US stocks.
So download the Moo app today to get started.
Let's get back to the episode with the All-American Kurt Angle. You briefly touched on, say, that first contract. One thing we were really interested to know, and I don't think a lot of us really understand it, but when it comes to a WWE contract, there's so much that comes into it. It's not just, you know, you go out there and you wrestle. There's merchandise, there's other opportunities.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit how it works?
Yeah. You know what? I wish I would have had a business mindset when I started. You know, John Cena had the business mindset. He knew how to sell merchandise. He knew what he wanted to do. I got in there and I was like, okay, I'm from a poor man's sport, which is, you know, amateur wrestling, Olympic wrestling. You know, I never made money in my life, you know, but here I am, I have an opportunity in WWE. I'll just get paid to wrestle. That's what I thought. And that wasn't the wisest decision because you can make so much more money on merchandise than getting paid to wrestle. Yeah. And so I struggled for a bit. You know, I didn't come up with any merchandise. The WWE would come up with it for me, the merchandise department, and I would just approve it. But everybody else was making up T-shirts and wristbands and hats and you know necklaces, and I just never really got into that. So I probably would have made $20 to $30 million more if I would have just worked on merchandise. Unfortunately, I didn't. So it was, I just didn't have a business mindset when I came in. Now, don't get me wrong, Vince McMahon paid me really well to wrestle, very well. He paid me more than any other wrestler because he understood I wasn't making money on merchandise as much. And he knew that I would have all the best matches, when I went out there. So he always told me I would take care of you if you put everything into it and wrestle. And so that's what I did. And unfortunately, I just wish I would have paid attention to the merchandising.
I thought I bought a piece of official Kurt Angle merchandise.
What, it was fake?
No,
Oh, you want to show that?
Oh, I don't know. What do you?
Well, okay, we'll quickly show you this, Kurt.
This must be WWE approved.
I don't think you got a cent from this, Kurt. I hope you did. But we're going to show you a photo. So maybe set the scene while I get the photo.
So basically, for it would have been like my 22nd birthday. It would have been me and about 20 friends. Messaged everyone and said, hey, you got to come dressed as your favourite WWE wrestler. Yeah. But you're not allowed to tell anyone who you're coming as. You bring your dress up, you put it in a bag. We built a little stage, built a little gorilla out the back. The garage was gorilla. You come through the curtain, and I was the great man, Kurt Angle.
That's great.
So there you go. It was.
We'll put that photo up for those watching.
I love the bald head.
But the interesting thing about this, Kurt, was so Dos, who threw the party, the great man next to me here, he really reiterated to all of us, make sure A, you come dressed as so it's legitimate.
The real deal. Yeah.
But B, practice your entrance. Like come out and make it look like the real thing. He went to a big effort. We're talking a proper stage and everything. Yeah. And when the great...
we had a screen with like...
Did you do a patent hopping Olympic spin?
I tried.
And Kurt Angle's music hits, everyone gets hyped, and Dos came out, and instead of doing your entrance, he just I don't know what happened. Adrenaline took over. He was just grabbing people by the head and just screaming in their face. Like everything went out.
It was a good night.
It was a great night. But that's really interesting what you talk about with the whole merchandise. Do you feel people that come into the industry now, and you see now a lot of crossover from other sports like UFC as an example, do they come in with that mindset that they can make a lot of money on merchandise, or is it still the old school, I need to cut my teeth, I need to prove a point?
I think it's still cut the teeth and prove myself.
Yeah.
You know, my advice to all of them that would start out training is remember merchandising. You know, that is so important in your career. But I think that a lot of these guys just want to get famous.
Yeah.
You know, they want a name, and then they think, okay, I can work on merchandising after that. So I think that's more of the mindset for all these guys. For most of them, there are some like John Cena is going to have that business mindset. You know, Stone Cold had it, The Rock had it, Triple H had it, but there aren't a lot of wrestlers that did. I mean, I honestly, you know, there are very few wrestlers that came out with a lot of creative stuff, is what I'm saying. And John Cena is one of them.
Yeah.
Sure.
When it comes to, I guess, creative writing, so you obviously had your own writer, but did you have anything to do with any storylines yourself, or you just get told what you know, this is what you're doing, go out and do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, there were times where like I changed Vince's mind of giving me the title. There was a point in time where 9/11 occurred, and you know, the country was really hurting for a hero. And Stone Cold Steve Austin was a champion. He was a heel, and this is before him and I were doing the funny stuff together. And so Vince pulled me aside and said, "Listen, you know, you're gonna carry this country. You're gonna represent them fighting back." And then the week later, you know, he told me that I was going to wrestle Stone Cold at a pay-per-view coming up, and that Stone Cold was going to retain the title. And I thought, man, right after 9/11, wouldn't it be great if I beat Stone Cold for the title? And I don't have to hold it long, just give the country a little boost, you know? And Vince said, hey, you're going to have to talk to Steve. So I didn't know that Steve made the decision, Stone Cold, but I guess he did. So I went to Steve and told him. He said, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, wow, you know, the great Stone Cold Steve Austin said, I was new, you know, I wasn't unknown because I won a gold medal in the Olympics, but I was relatively new in the business. And here I am telling Steve Austin, I'm going to beat you for the title. Is that okay? And he said, yeah, that's fine. So we did it, and it was in my hometown of Pittsburgh. It was a wonderful victory. My family came in the ring, carried me up on their shoulders. We went across all around the ring, outside. It was just really great experience. What memories. And I was really proud to do that for everyone that was hurting for 9/11, you know. And that was a really cool moment for me.
It's really interesting as well on winning and dropping titles. So what kind of effect does that have on egos behind the scenes when you have to drop a title? Has there been many blow-ups because of it?
You know what? Not when I was there. I am sure that it was before I was there. There were a lot of politics going on. I'm going to tell you this. I saw very few politics going on when I was there. And it probably because Stone Cold Steve Austin was the head guy. And he doesn't do politics, you know. He's very cool dude, and he doesn't try to screw anyone over or do something behind someone's back. He was a real honorable guy. And you know, WCW, it was like the Wild Wild West down there, you know. Politics were going on all the time down there, you know. Hey, you know, I had an advantage over this guy, and you know, just trying to push for themselves to be the best.
Sure.
You know, win the title. And but we didn't have any of that. At least I didn't see it. And I thought that was really cool. And it was because Stone Cold Steve Austin was out the helm.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, interviewing a childhood hero, Kurt Angle, but we wouldn't be able to do this without Fleet Plant Hire Solutions.
No, absolutely not, Dos. Now, they're the backbone of dos&d and have been for 2 years now, but they are also the backbone of all the biggest projects in Australia when it comes to all things earth moving, Dos.
They are. So you guys check them out, fbh.com.au to find out more today.
Back to the episode with Kurt Angle.
Is there any? I think of sport in Australia. We played a lot of Australian rules football, and in the big
rugby,
it's very similar. But I'm not even going to try explain it because
That's quite offensive, Kurt.
It's very confusing. It's the most confusing sport in the world. But when it comes to locker rooms, there's typically some unwritten rules. With players. The new guys are coming in, and the new boys might have to clean someone's car for a week or carry the coach's bag, or just as an example. Is that a thing in the wrestling locker room with the younger guys?
No, but there are times they're going to test you to see how you respond. If you have a bad attitude coming in, you're going to get abused. If you're negative and you're I'll give you an example. Now, I think it was more, I don't want to use him as an example. I don't want to mention any names. But I think that the business is about respect. And if you don't have that type of respect for each other, you won't last very long. I mean, it really is difficult. I would say...
So you didn't make Daniel Puder carry your bag around for a while?
No. That's a good story in itself. But listen, I was never political, and I did what I was told to do, and I was very fortunate though, because I had Vince McMahon on my side. He was always vying for me and pushing me week after week. I mean, I was relatively. I only trained for 7 months. I went on television, and within 10 months, I won the world championship. That means I trained and wrestled for a little over a year, and here I am, the world champion. I still didn't know what I was doing. Literally, my opponents had to structure the whole entire match for me and call the whole entire match in the ring so I wouldn't forget any spots. And it was because I was so inexperienced. They rushed me on TV. And I think that could have backfired, but the approach I took was I'm going to shut my mouth and learn and allow my opponents to lead me in the ring. And when I did that, I was such a good listener, a good follower, that I then became a good leader after about a year. And I started structuring matches, and I started leading matches. And within 2 years in the business, I became the absolute best.
100%.
You were.
I was going to ask a different question, but I think we need to hear the Daniel Puder story, because you mentioned that's a great story in itself.
Okay.
I know where it's going. That's our favourite Royal Rumble, by the way.
Yeah, we've watched that Royal Rumble that many times. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Daniel Puder, nice kid. What happened was I just got over neck surgery, and me physically, I could do about 5 push-ups. My upper body was completely weak. There was nothing. Because of my nerve problems in my neck going down my arms, I had no circulation. So that means my circulation was cut off. My arms started getting smaller. They were atrophying. I was getting weaker and weaker. And so Vince wants me to do this shoot thing with Tough Enough kids. And Daniel Puder was part of it. And they kept telling me, don't pick Daniel Puder because he's an MMA fighter. I was like, why? I'm not afraid of him, So what happened was I went out there and I picked Daniel, and we got in the ring. We started wrestling, and I'm wrestling, but this kid didn't understand that it wasn't submission; it was pinfall. So he gets me in a key lock, and I take him down. He's cranking my arm. Now he was this close to breaking it, but I was like, "You're a dumbass, dude. This isn't submission. This is pinfall." Okay, so. When he got up, I actually pinned him because he was on his back. I pinned him, and we got up, and I said, you know what, you're a dumbass. He said, what are you talking about? I said, this was pinfall. This isn't submission. And so he laughed it off, and what happened was my writer, Brian Gawartz, said, hey, you want to do a program with him? I said, yeah, once he learns how to wrestle. And then what happened is at the Royal Rumble, that night, somebody went up to Daniel Puder and said, hey, are you wrestling tonight? He goes, yeah, I'm in the main event. And they're like, what are you talking about? You're in the main event. He said, well, I'm in the Royal Rumble. I'm the main event. And they were like, this kid's got a fucking bad attitude, man. So what happened was when he got in the ring, Eddie Guerrero, I think, Chris Benoit, and Bob Hawley were chopping the shit out of him. And it wasn't because of me. Everybody thinks it was me. And I also, they claimed that I got him fired. No, I didn't. I wanted to wrestle him at a WrestleMania eventually because of the storyline. What happened was he was getting paid $250,000 a year because he wasn't tough enough. But they wanted to give him $75,000. They thought he wasn't worth the $250 because he wasn't improving quick enough. So he turned it down. So they said, okay, we'll let you go. So it wasn't like he got fired. He just wouldn't take the $75,000 guarantee. And that's the reason. So I don't know why he keeps saying that, I got him fired. It's not true. But, I don't know if the kid's, mentally stable or not, but he just turned down the contract.
Yeah.
And you know what? I had the same contract. What Daniel Puder's talking about, I got a multi-million-dollar deal offered to me in 1996. I turned it down. 2 years later, I got $75,000, and that's it. That was my guarantee. And if you're wrestling, you're traveling all over the world. You have to pay for your hotel, your rental car, your food, your tolls. The only thing they pay for at WWE is airfare. So $75,000 doesn't go a very long way.
That's crazy.
But thank God I was like in the main event within like 4 months of my career starting out. So I was main eventing and I was getting paid as a main eventer. So you have a guarantee and you have the money that you're going to make. If you work the whole year, you'll make way more than your guarantee because all that money adds up. So, but the guarantee is just like if you get hurt or you're sitting at home, you get that guarantee regardless. But I made over $1 million my first year wrestling. Wow. So it came to me very, very quickly.
Is it the same with pay-per-view when that was a thing as well?
Yeah.
That, or?
Pay-per-view, okay, untelevised show, house shows, I guess what they're called. That's when you get paid the least. TVs.
When you're flying out to Melbourne,
Well, no. Those overseas tours are good money.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But TV is the next level. You get paid a little bit more, but pay-per-views you get like 5-10 times more. I mean, that's.
How do they determine that though?
If you're main event, you're going to get a certain amount here. Okay. Semi-main event, certain amount here. Mid card, certain amount. Opening card. So it divvies down. So the lower on the card you are, the less money you make.
That makes sense. Yeah. We are coming towards the end of this our time with you, Kurt. So we'll wrap it up very shortly. But I do want to ask, because you were one of our favourite heels in your time in WWE. But I'd love to know what comes to mind for you in your baddest moment when it came to the biggest heel moment you had in WWE.
You talking about heel moment?
Yeah, heel moment. Yeah.
Gosh. You know what I loved about being a heel is that I could make an ass out of myself.
Yeah.
And be funny. Like fans, even though they hated my guts, they loved the entertainment I gave to them, and they would laugh at me, And when the fans would chant "You suck," and I reacted to them, stop saying that, they'd say it louder, And I just remember like doing promos like, Rey Mysterio, you're a boy in a man's world, and I'm a man who loves to play with boys. No, that's not what it was. It was just having those kind of entertaining promos, and even the milk truck, when I brought the milk truck out and sprayed down Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those memories were just, they're endless. And those are the things that defined my career. And you wouldn't think that driving a milk truck into an arena would define someone's career, but I mean it did. And, people will never forget that. Right. And I'll do cameo voice messages, video messages, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you do the Rey Mysterio promo?"
It's a great promo.
Yeah. So but I had some great writers. A great writer, Brian Gewirtz, and Ryan Ward was another great writer, but I really enjoyed being a heel because I could make an ass out of myself. Yeah, that gives you the ability to, when you're a babyface, you're supposed to be cool. You know, when you're a heel, you could be like a complete idiot, stupid, and you know, it's just it's big difference.
You obviously had so many different injuries in your time. I guess how is your body holding up today now?
You know what? I'm good. I had my knees replaced 3 years ago. I don't regret that. That was the best decision I ever made because my knees were so bad. I had 2 back surgeries. I had 5 neck surgeries. But my neck, unfortunately, has fused together automatically. So I don't have any more discs in between my vertebrae. It's just all vertebrae. It's all bone. It just meshed together like that. And I was going to get disc replacement surgery, but I don't have any more discs. So that's out. But I also have to get my shoulders replaced. And what my doctor told me was, you know what? Just wait a year or 2. We'll probably come out with something better. Because shoulder replacements are 50-50. My doctor said this. He said, listen, you're taking a chance. It might not work. Yeah. So it's up to you. But if I were you, I'd wait because something better is going to come along.
Technology's advancing.
Yes. So I'm going to sit around and wait for technology to advance.
How is life for you these days? I've heard you talk about how important family is to you, how important your faith is to you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm enjoying my life. My plans were to be a movie star after wrestling. But I chose my family because I never was home. I was always traveling. I missed half of my kids' childhood growing up. And I have a 9-year-old now. She's our youngest. And I don't want to miss another moment. So I'm home. I'm playing daddy duty now. And I absolutely love it. I'm glad I gave up the acting career because I would have never had the time to spend with my family. And I think that being a father and a husband is the most important thing in the world that you can do. And I don't want to fail my kids or my wife.
Have you, I guess, do they enjoy wrestling, or do you ever reminisce on your time in the industry? Because, I mean, going back to WWE after that period out, they would have got to probably see you when you know, they would have been a lot younger, your kids.
You know what? My older kids got to see me. I had 2 kids to a previous marriage. They got to see me wrestle quite a bit, but the younger ones never did. And it's pretty sad because they watch their dad, you know. We'll turn on Netflix and it'll be they never watched my documentary. They're not going to do that. But they would see Kurt Angle matches pop up and they would watch and say, Dad, that's you. And I just wish to God that I would have been able to bring them to an event and just watch me wrestle one time. They would have understood what Daddy went through and the risks Daddy took to give them the lives that I gave them.
Yeah, for sure. That's lovely to hear you talk about that. Well, we need to do the coin spot segment before we wrap up here. Might be the final question of this interview. So, do you want to talk to us a little bit about coin spot, Dos?
That's it, mate. On the Spot, this is called, Kurt, by our friends at CoinSpot. They are the most trusted crypto app in Australia. Over 3 million users or downloads worldwide. Yeah. Well, it's probably 3 million users worldwide. Yes, yeah. And you can buy your Bitcoin on there for as little as $1 every day.
Right. If you think you missed a Bitcoin boat, you haven't. You can get involved for as little as $1 today and keep investing in the CoinSpot app.
Are you into the Bitcoin, Kurt?
You know what? I never got into something you can't feel or touch.
Fair enough.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I think America need CoinSpot. CoinSpot need to come over.
Yeah, no, we do. Now, what we're going to do for this segment, like we said, the listeners and viewers, we're going to dim the lights and we're going to hear the music now because we've got a multiple choice answer for you, Kurt. We'd love to see if you can get this question right. So, a bit like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So, Kurt, what was your favourite comedy moment in WWE? Was it A, and I quote, I'm a man who loves to play with boys, end quote. B, sexy Kurt. C, the milk truck. Or D, the woo off with Ric Flair.
Oh man, that's really tight. I'm gonna go with the Rey Mysterio promo.
You're gonna lock in A.
That's the most popular promo that the fans ask me to portray over and over. I go autograph signs. Kurt, do the Rey promo. It's like, oh my God.
What year was that? Do you know?
Gosh,
that
had
before
to
your
be
SummerSlam match?
2005, four or five. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a cool promo. What's Rey like? You guys had an amazing chemistry too.
Rey is the coolest kid in the world. He is so humble and he is so talented. I mean, the kid's skills. he's 150 pounds, and he's been a world champion in WWE. It's just unfathomable. But he's a special kid. He only comes around once every freaking 5 generations. You know, I've never seen a kid that small dominate the world of pro wrestling, and he does an amazing job. You know, the cool thing is he's such a good kid. You want to help him. You know, it's like, Ray, I'll lose to you. I love you, man. You know, but I remember at one point in time we had a main event match at WrestleMania. It was Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and myself. And Ray pissed me off that night. We had 20 minutes for our match. Okay, that's including entrances. So I rush out in 30 seconds. I get mine over with. Randy comes out in 30 seconds, gets it over with. Ray comes out with this outfit on. He looked like a bird. And he's dancing around, and then he goes up the scaffold and comes back down and goes down the ramp and goes around the ring 3 times. And I'm like, this motherfucker. Like, we ended up only having 12 minutes for our match because he took up 8 minutes for his entrance. I was like, man, and you know what? I understood after, because it was his moment. He was going to win the world title that night. So I wish I wouldn't have got pissed off at him, but I did. But no, Ray, I was honored and privileged to be able to drop the title to him that night. But not only was he representing himself, but he was representing Eddie Guerrero. Yeah. And I thought that was a great storyline to end that story that way.
For sure. And that particular entrance, we actually watched it this morning. It's everyone's favorite. I know it's very short and sharp for you. We're talking about your entrance. It's short and sharp, but it's so intense. Yeah. And it's an amazing moment. Now, Kurt, we just want to say a big thank you to you for coming on the dos&d show. So what we do is, back home in Melbourne, we have what's called the dos&d goodie bag. Now, typically this is filled up with a bunch of products, but because we have to travel light,
you're only going home with one.
But this one actually is appropriately titled for Kurt Angle. So this is Milkman, Kurt.
Oh yeah, Milkman.
Milkman Australia, which is a male grooming, the #1 in Australia, all things male grooming. So we talk deodorants, cologne, body wash, hair product, beard product, and they've sent you home with a few gifts, some natural deodorants made in the travel
Milk,
bag.
man, this is perfect for me.
Exactly. The OG
Lots of vitamin D.
All natural as well.
All natural deodorant, mate. It's just their way of saying thank you, and we do thank
thank you,
Milkman
guys.
Australia.
This is awesome.
Where can they go and get it?
MilkmanAustralia.com. You can get 20% off by using the code dos&d if you want to smell and look like Kurt Angle, and I reckon that's a pretty good way to go.
I think it is.
The great man looks absolutely fantastic, and has entertained us for many years.
He has, mate. He has. No, it's been an absolute privilege and an honour, and we're so grateful for your time, Kurt. We're wrapped that we've flown across the world to make this happen.
I know, you guys are crazy.
It's special for us to be here in Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's special.
I don't know why. We've always said it, but as our shows continued to grow, we've made a real emphasis on doing them in person. We don't want to do them on Zoom because we feel like you get an actual...
It's better.
A real connection.
Better, yeah.
So, mate, we appreciate you making the time, and in your hometown.
And what about, just quickly, the documentary? Do you want to give that a plug, and your documentary angle, and your podcast and everything else you're doing?
I don't do my podcast anymore.
Sorry.
But that's because we're working on a movie about my life story. Cool. And the directors of the movie didn't want me to tell my stories anymore on podcasts.
That makes sense.
So, and I shouldn't be here right now. We're taking our time, but we got the script done. We have the financing. We have the directors, and what we need now is to put together a cast. So we're going to be working on that next, but we're planning on releasing the movie eventually around the Olympics in 2028.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
So, but that's not a 100% guarantee, but that's what we're aiming for.
Is there a name yet?
No, right now it's just called Angle.
Angle.
Just
So
like
the same as the documentary.
My documentary, yeah.
Would you, if you could choose any actor in the world to portray you, who are you picking?
Oh gosh, you know what? Sylvester Stallone, but there's no way, he's 81 years old. You know what? He looks good. He looks like he's 30 still, so that might not be a bad idea. No, but my nephew John Bernthal, he's a Punisher from Marvel. He got me Gabe LaBelle to play me. Now Gabe is an upcoming actor. He's done some really good stuff. I think Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night, I think is what it's called. He's a pretty good athlete, and I also have a kid. I can't remember his name, but he wrestled in college, and he's a really successful actor. But right now, I don't know if I want a big name playing me or a relatively new name. That's really difficult. I mean, I will say that, you know, for my brother's characters and my father, we'll probably get some big names. But for me, I think we're going to try to pick an upcoming actor that, you know, has a lot of promise and is a little bit more, you know, younger, basically.
Help catapult their career.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Well, thank you again, Kurt. We really appreciate it. It's been an honor for us. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.